Connor Westenberg in to begin things. He had a couple of base hits, 2 of the 8 for the Cowboys in game 1. And we're underway. Plate umpire, Javero January. Brian Hale at first, Vic Corral at second, Ronnie Teague over at third base. Arkansas pitchers, struck out 15 in the game, Troy?
Yeah, they've just been at a next level with the strikeouts.
15 strikeouts.
There's a 2,700 spin rate breaking ball right there. That'll lock any hitter up.
DVH thought Brady Tygart was as good as he has seen him in that last start. Efficient, effective. Never sure how that might carry over from one start to the next. Last year, 10 appearances, 6 starts. Missed a lot of time due to that injury scare. Finished with 31 strikeouts in 25-plus innings. Misses high, the count has gone full.
Tiger just a little bit amped up here in this start.
Fouled from the sunshine into the shadows. And then it ends up back on the field. Just underway here in game 2. Brian Hale making a fan or a friend or both. Count is full to Westenberg leading off game 2. Tiger didn't move there for a few seconds. Now he's ready, and he will walk Westenberg to begin the game.
Westenberg's just one of those guys just going to grind out at bats. He's going to see a lot of pitches, do what you want that leadoff hitter to do. I tell you what, that helps guys on deck and in the dugout to see a few extra pitches out of a starter before they get up to the plate.
Cooper Hext, the left fielder, next man in. A little bit down on that offering. You been to DeQuincy, Louisiana, Troy?
I have not.
Can't say that I have either. Cooper Hext had a single, couple of walks, part of a 1-for-3 game 1. One of the few returners in this lineup, bunts one foul.
See somebody flashing signs like the McNeese third base coach, and you feel like it's old school at this point, don't you?
It is old school. Tiger wearing the sleeves under his pinstripe Razorback jersey on a 53-degree afternoon.
Hogs going back-to-back pinstripes.
I don't think there was even time to change.
It might not have been.
Close at first. Souza, in fact, who's at second base, is still kind of covered in some dirt on his jersey, so there might have been Snickers and apples, like DVH likes to do between games.
Don't overfeed the boys. Make them hungry.
We did notice that the snack tray was a bit depleted, possibly by us. 1-1 to Hext, a little chopper foul. He took that one almost out of the glove of Helfrich. A little different defensive alignment for the Razorbacks here in game 2. Ryder Helfrich is behind the plate catching Tiger. Also Edmondson is in center, Jones in left. Holtz at third, so a few changes as you could expect. And there's the freshman, Helfrich. Tiger tried to get that first out. Might get 2. And now he might be happy for 1. McLaughlin will extend and touch the base in front of Hext for the first out as Westerberg takes second.
Ball had a little bit of pinball action off of Ben McLaughlin. That's when panic starts getting into
Yes.
your mind as a first baseman. It starts rolling away from you. You're like, uh-oh, has it gone too far? Not sure if Ben took his eye off the ball. That ball was just hit pretty hard.
Might have been anxious to try and find a throwing lane to second. Chase Keaton, the first baseman, in. Walked twice, struck out twice, and flied out in game one.
Certain pitchers have the ability to work well up in the strike zone. Brady Tiger does. His fastballs have a lot of carry. It seems like they stay on plane for a long time.
That's a good pitch in there for a strike, and then you work that breaking ball with elevated fastballs, and it seems to play off each other nicely.
Keaton's dug himself a hole right here, 0-2.
He's trying to crouch over, provide a limited strike zone. He keeps getting smaller and smaller, but he'll wave and miss. That is 16 strikeouts now today for Cowboy hitters.
So when you need an out, just go to the punch out. Tiger just lean on that fastball. Again, just really nice carry. That pitch just almost has a second life. I mean, it's 90-91. It's not an elite fastball, but it's just holds plane. Like I said, it stays up where hitters like swing underneath it.
Peyton Lejeune hits a big chopper to Souza. Shoulder high bounce, and that's a quiet first inning. Leadoff single, or walk, I should say, to man stranded after a half inning. Carter College in Missouri. So there's Peyton. Souza, Jones, and Helfrich, the bottom three in the lineup for the Razorbacks. Offense has been tough to come by for Arkansas in a bulk of their games this season. See if that changes.
Yeah, you feel like it will. You feel like the power's going to come. I think just probably some hitters pressing just a little bit. I think sometimes that happens when you have a team with a lot of depth, and so you have guys that are getting an opportunity. They feel like sometimes they may try to do a little too much.
Here we go with Edmondson. We'll pinch hit for Lovich, who started game one. And takes a strike.
See Edmondson really open up that stance. A lot of times you see hitters that have a big open stance, and a lot of times that back eye, or in this situation his right eye, is a dominant eye, try to get that head to turn a little bit more. Boy, how about Voss just working the bottom part of the zone? He is just nibbling down there, trying to get Edmondson to expand.
The 2-1 is a chopper to third. Gathered in, and the throw across is in time. Good play by Trahan. Here's Peyton Stovall.
Stovall's kind of got the George Brett look, got the pants all the way up above the knees, trying to make that strike zone just a little bit smaller. Stovall's seeing a steady diet of changeups in his first plate appearances this season.
He's seen a month worth in a game plus.
Another one right there.
Peyton had an infield single in his first at bat, then went ground out, pop up, and strike out. And Voss's next one is a little bit outside. Voss had a shoulder injury last year. He'll pitch maybe a little more to contact than some other pitchers. Had a tough game against New Mexico State. Stovall with a liner into center for a base hit.
That swing right there is what makes Peyton Stovall special. Saw several change-ups. He got another one right there, and he goes down below the strike zone and really just collapses that back knee to keep that barrel flat in the strike zone. What a pretty swing.
That one feels good, I'm sure, for Peyton Stovall. Here's Kendall Diggs. Kendall had a game where he did not reach base. That's a newsflash. He had done so in every game, but he struck out twice, grounded out twice, hit a liner at 107 miles an hour off the pitcher that propelled to the second baseman and took it on a bounce and threw out Diggs on what probably should have been a base hit, but Kendall's average at 326. High pop-up left side of the diamond. And this is trouble. It's going to drop. Still a chance for a force at second base, so even Kendall doesn't get a base hit on that. He might have had it not been played to second base, and Stovall is forced. I tell you what, the Cowboys are having no fun with fly balls and pop-ups.
Yeah, the wind is really getting them here at Bum Walker, and there's nothing you can do right there if you're Peyton Stovall. You assume that ball is going to be caught, and there the wind just took it.
Aloy batting cleanup, hitting a 204 with 9 runs batted in. Struck out in his last 2 at-bats. It was really a strange AB at times in our first game because he drove in the first run with a single, but he also bounced into a double play and struck out twice.
Bahiva really likes that ball up in the zone. You better not miss middle in.
Now the Hog Pen, they've been waiting for something to fly in their direction all day. Popped up back and out of play.
That was a pitch that Lloyd wants back.
For Zach Voss, Troy, you know, he wants to continue what his teammates did before him, and there's the Hog Pen. My goodness, that thing is jam-packed out there today. Get a sunburn and be cold. I was saying, though, about Voss, wants to follow up what Lejeune and Moeller did in Game 1, but he's also a guy that's got a huge number of family members and friends here today. He had the most ticket requests of any Cowboy player. He grew up about 250 miles northeast of Fayetteville. Off and rolling is Diggs, and he's safe at first base.
I think he might be hurt.
Oh, goodness. It was an awkward slide, and that shoulder is the concern now for Kendall Diggs. There just wasn't a lot of give when he went into that dive.
That is not what Arkansas needs right now. Just hope he's okay.
Troy, is it the arm, the shoulder? What do you think?
Yeah, shoulder. That's it. First, it's his throwing shoulder, but
he kind of got stuck in the mud a little bit.
I think it just that dirt didn't. I'm trying to see what that strength of that shoulder is.
Are you looking at the hand?
No, I think it's just the shoulder. See what happens here if that arm doesn't get jammed.
Oh, yeah. Just kind of a hard landing.
Yeah, just a really awkward landing right there. That's a tough kid in Kendall Diggs. That did not look good.
Well, it's his left shoulder. He does throw right-handed for a left-handed hitter. But regardless, my thought was when he went down, this is trouble.
It looked like it might have popped out of socket or something.
He's still shaking that thing off. Count has gone full to Vahiva Aloy. That ball laced to left, hit well, climbing to the wall. It is off the fence. Diggs will score. It is going to be a long RBI single from Aloy. He didn't say aloha, but he puts Arkansas in front 1-0 on a laser beam off the fence.
104 off the bat of Vahiva Aloy. And again, it went down. That is in the bottom part of the zone and hit an absolute dart out to left field. And again, it looked like it had a chance, and Vahiva's running out of the box. It just, the left fielder, Hex, is playing a deep left field, and he played it off the wall really well.
Here's McLaughlin. Ben had a couple of doubles, went 1 for 2, and scored a run in Game 1. Arkansas able to get a run. They'd like a multi-run inning at some point. I was saying about Voss, though, he grew up in Iberia, Missouri, so about 250 miles northeast of Fayetteville. Played junior college baseball about 75 miles up the road at Crowder in Neosho. So he's got friends and family here watching him pitch. McLaughlin fouls one back and out of play.
Now you might see Voss go right back to that changeup again, especially the left-hand hitting McLaughlin. Try to go down and away. Not a bad pitch for Aloy to run on right here.
After Kendall nearly hurt himself on a stolen base, I might just tether him to the bag.
Say feet first only slides out at second.
Long pause before the 2-2. You know, when Voss started on opening night in College Station, Troy, Jace Lavalette hit one 114 miles an hour off his bat that went over the bleachers in right field.
Whew.
And that was an inauspicious way to begin your season against what has become a really good Aggie team. It was also his birthday that day. And
that's a tough way to have a birthday.
Right. I mean, it's your birthday. It's opening day. You're juiced up. Braden Montgomery also homered. So it was a little bit of everything in the course of that outing. And again, A&M outscored McNeese 31-1 that weekend. And to their credit, after they had started 0-4, they had won 8 of 9 until Arkansas won the first game. But Hawks didn't exactly knock the cover off the ball. McLaughlin lifting one to left field, and that ball will be caught by Hext in the inning ends. Arkansas gets
Really picked up a lot of tips and tricks from them.
Coach Barbier, Coach Matt Reiser, a few others he's worked with. This is Plowman leading off the second inning, facing Brady Tigert. He came on late to pinch hit in game one and batted with the bases loaded. Grounded out to third to end the seventh against Gackle.
Back-to-back changeups by Tigert.
Wichita State transfer is Cole Plowman, Fort Worth native. Last year, I believe it was at Seminole State. Good baseball JUCO. Of course, you throw back-to-back changeups, you wonder what you throw 0-2, and he threw him the breaking ball with about 2750 RPM.
Do you come back with that hammer again? Just throw it in the zone this time?
I could throw a changeup again if I've gotten off that pitch one time. Fastball with some ride.
Not sure how Plowman got his bat on that ball. I think that was a self-defense half swing.
He's got that C-flap wrapped around his right cheek. There might be a catcher at UCA that might be wearing one of those soon, too, after our game on Tuesday.
Yeah, boy, that was tough. I think he took it off the nose, didn't he?
I mean, you're talking about maybe a half-inch away from having it just go right by your nose and miss to hitting it. Luckily, it wasn't flush. He was turning as he tried to do it, but I don't know if that minimizes a ton. Enough, maybe. 3-2 the count to Plowman leading off the top of the second for the Cowboys. Brady works into the windup with 7 on the timer, and that one is lofted foul softly into the seats, down the line and right into the shadows. I can't even see down there right now. Great sunshine. Oh, everybody's okay. Somebody got a baseball. Wave to the video board.
You better have your jacket and then some in the shade.
Short sleeves on the left side of the stadium. We've got multiple jackets on the right side. Another payoff pitch from Brady Tigert. He came back with that slow curve. That thing was on a string. You could have swung twice at this pitch.
How about 16 inches of vertical drop and 17 of horizontal drop? That thing looked like a beach ball coming in there. You could see Plowman's reaction.
That's a reaction, wasn't it? Yeah, ooh is right.
That was a dandy pitch.
Braden Duhan is the right fielder. Duhan drove in the lone Cowboy run in game 1 with a 6th inning single. So the Stash got the lone RBI for the Cowboys. Moss Bluff, Louisiana native. Really great high school baseball in Louisiana. And last weekend at Minute Maid, I had the Raging Cajuns, and it didn't really work out for them. Coach Deggs, a really good coach and a good baseball program with the Raging Cajuns. And he said, I feel like Louisiana's top 5 in the country when it comes to high school prospects. And I don't know if he's that far off, but you consider there's a California, there's a Texas, there's a Georgia, there's a Florida.
That's pretty impressive, but you're right. There's a lot of talented baseball players in that state.
You consider Barb High School, though, cranks out a few. And then you think about LSU won the national championship last year. LSU Eunice won a D2 JUCO championship a couple of years ago. And you mix in the crowds that you get in Louisiana or Lake Charles or Baton Rouge or even Tulane and New Orleans. And a hit batter. Duhan will reach.
Throw La Tech in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Great fan
Should have
base.
mentioned Lane Burrows and the Texters. Fans like their college baseball in Louisiana. Easton Dowell will hit the shortstop. He reached base 3 times in game 1. One was on an error, one was on a single, also walked and struck out.
Duhan at first base, he's leads the team in attempts. 5 attempts, successful 4 times. He'll run just a little bit.
There's that slow breaking ball again.
71. That one had a parachute on that one.
Yeah, Duhan a year ago swiped 19 bases, and I don't know how willing you are to run, but if you get that slow curve, you could coast to second base.
You might be able to go in standing up.
Or change up as well. There's that pitch again.
I think I'd have to throw it again, a couple swings like that.
Do you feel like you've timed that thing up better if you've seen it twice or 2 out of 3 pitches?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I think Easton Dow hasn't seen that in high school baseball last year.
Slow curve, but he pushed that one off the plate just a bit.
I mean, you might see Tiger just try to pound the fastball in, but you don't want to hit the batter here.
Duhan will draw a throw. Tell you what, McLaughlin's been scooping and picking everything.
He's had really nice hands over there, and talked about his footwork on a throw by Sprague Lott that pulled him across the bag. Yeah, Duhan's pretty active over there at first base. He's hopping and dancing around.
I think if you get a fastball here, you'd run on the next pitch assuming curve. So here, let's put this to the test. Not only is it 3-2 and that one missed, you've just seen the fastball and he didn't locate it. If you're sitting on a curveball here, you should be able to steal it even if he Ks.
Yeah, I think so. And I think if you're McNeese, you've got to take a few chances. You got your best base stealer. He's got a huge lead over at first base.
He runs. It is a fastball, and it must have been ball 4. That didn't look too far out of the zone. And Helfrich went ahead and threw, so they got the fastball. For a split second, Troy, when he saw the fastball, I thought maybe it might be a strike him out, throw him out. Instead, it's a walk. Was this down?
Yeah, just down.
Not by much.
See, Duhan just got that hand in. It didn't matter anyway.
Did not.
Tiger's kind of creating a little traffic on the bases himself. Defensively, Arkansas is playing everybody pretty straight away.
Parker Stroh pinch hit in game 1 and struck out. That one almost went right through his kneecaps, but it missed.
It's a good visit by Ryder Helfrich, the freshman. He might have been told to go out there, but got to slow his pitcher down just a little bit.
Kind of a quiet crowd today, so it's kind of a self-motivating day, and hadn't been a ton of scoring and a few base runners here and there. A little different feel than maybe it will next week when Mizzou's here for a Saturday conference game.
It felt like a lot of people left, but I'm looking in the stands and it's still, at least in the sunshine area, pretty full. If I'm in the shade, I'm finding a way to find some open seats over in the sun.
Didn't leave in the pen though. They're still out there.
Oh, they're faithful out there.
I'm not giving away those spots. Parker Stroh.
Did hit him.
That hit him again. Bases are loaded. 3 free base runners in the inning. Self-induced issue here in the second inning. Gage Trahan. Well, he was ready to sniper one out of here for 4.
He got a changeup instead of a fastball, and it way out in front.
Does have a home run. Had a single and 4 at-bats in our first game. There's the curve, and he landed it again to jump ahead 0-2.
That's the pitch. It starts off the plate if you're left-handed and just bends over that outside corner.
You know he'd like to get a strikeout to get that second out.
Wow, great take right there by Trahan.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Swinging a foul ball back. Trahan able to get a piece. Arkansas won the opener 3-1, leading in game 2, but the Cowboys can change that right here. Fouled at the plate. You know, when you go through a stretch where you're not landing as many strikes and you see a couple of hit batters and a walk, then you start pumping strikes, but the hitter's fouling them off. Yeah. They're like, well, darn it, I've thrown enough maybe to get a verdict or an outcome, and it hasn't happened yet.
That's where you have to have a little bit of patience here. I see Brady go back to that backdoor breaking ball.
He tried. That one just slipped out of his hands. Got to rub that thing down a little more when you miss like that.
Yeah, what it does, too, is it kind of gets your defense on their heels just a little bit when you've kind of been out of the zone that much.
Two and 2. Off the corner.
The ball just did float outside. You can see Helfrich trying to pull that one back in.
Wave and a miss. Then he climbed the ladder, did Trahan, once he got himself to that full count. That's an angry snatch of that baseball back from Tiger, but he won the battle.
Boy, got some assistance right there from Trahan. A flat fastball. That is over Bill high. Got him to expand the strike zone right there. A huge strikeout for Brady Tigert and the Hogs.
Back to the top of the lineup for Westerberg. He walked to the first. He got the strikeout.
I mean, the bottom just falls out of that pitch.
How many times do you think he's thrown that curve out of his total 45? If he's thrown that 20-plus times?
I bet he has. If you're Ryder Helfrich, you have got to make sure that you smother this baseball if it's in the dirt.
Curveball again laced, but well foul. I guess the thought process is, as tough as that pitch is to hit, you feel like if you guess right and you get a little bit of a hanger, you have a chance to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think so. If you're a Tiger in this situation, if you're going to throw it, you start it down the middle and you try to break it down and away.
Brady trying to get through the second inning in under 50 pitches. Breaking ball, wave and a miss. He walked the tightrope, Troy, but he got to the other side. And Lejeune sunning himself there in the dugout after his pretty good performance in game 1, despite the fact he absorbed the loss, giving up 3 runs in 5 innings. I think that's a swing as well. No on the appeal. Peyton able to check with Brian Hale at first base. disinterested in the time being. He's working something over there.
Got some gum going.
I think he does. Holt sharply on the ground to short. Dow gobbles it up. Throws out Peyton to begin the Razorback second inning.
Some really good positioning right there by the Cowboys. I don't know if Dow even had to move. It was just right at him.
Nolan Souza, next man in. Troy, what happens in this rotating cast of second basemen and third basemen if Stovall's able to get back and play some second base soon?
It's going to be really interesting. The way these guys are swinging the bat, you really maybe have a rotation of guys DHing. It puts a lot of pressure on those outfielders then, because then you can't take one of those outfield positions and move it into DH.
Well, you're right. And I think if there's one area that is probably slightly underperformed, maybe some of the offensive production from the outfielders, but I think it's there. There's potential to see some numbers. Jason Jones is always one big game away from knocking a couple of balls out of the yard, and there's still some competition at center in that position, or in the outfield, maybe third. We may just see kind of a rotation of catchers all year as Souza waves and misses against Zach Voss.
And I've been real impressive with these Cowboy pitchers of being able to throw the changeup for strikes.
Stroke to left, and that's what Souza can do. That's just 105. Let it get deep, spray to left field for hit number 6 on his season. And that's why I think this kid's still going to get some playing time if Stovall's healthy or not.
Yeah, I think so. He's too good of a hitter. You know, he's got tremendous power, and that's the thing, too. Not only is he hit for power, he's really good at keeping that bat in the hitting zone for a long time and taking that ball to left field.
I don't know about you. I think Razorback fans would like to see a home run. Maybe this is the guy to do so. He's the only one in double figures at homers, and he did it in the same game with 2 against Grambling, and you have not even seen him homer this year.
I have not. I missed that game, and I definitely know about his power. It's there to all fields, but it always happens when you have the wind blowing out that nobody even lifts the ball in the air.
I don't think we've seen anything within 25 feet of an outfield fence today. At least off the bat of a Razorback.
What about Aloy hit a bullet? Remember his single off the wall?
Oh, that's right.
Okay, we'll give that one.
All right, we'll give that one to him.
But that was only about 15 feet high, though.
Yeah, that was this game.
That didn't count. It wasn't a fly ball. It was just a laser.
And Jones rung up. Voss made quick work out of Jason for the second out of the inning.
Pretty impressive, Voss. His command, throwing that breaking ball, starts that one right over the heart and just locked up Jones right there. You can see he's kind of digging at the dirt in frustration with himself.
Helfrich had a homer in his first start, but he's had 2 hits on the year. And, you know, DVH did talk about what happens when a guy's had so much success on the amateur level, and they come here, and maybe you're not playing every day, and then when you are playing, you know, you're not hitting, and you've gone a couple of weeks without a base hit, it feels like eternity.
Yeah, it really does. And then you take the first pitch right down the chute, and then he snaps off a breaking ball right there, and next thing you know, you blink and you're 0-2.
Yeah, and then you're really swimming. To Helfrich, wave and a miss. He has just struck out Jones and Helfrich on 6 pitches after the single from Souza. That was well done.
Really
explained by Brady Tiger. Pace, control, awareness, and you're not just gripping and ripping.
That's a good mentality for a closer. Just go up there and just let it hang out.
This is Hext. Rolled out to first in the first inning. He was the only starter for McNeese who didn't strike out in game 1. I'm not sure if that's a moral victory or not, but he has survived to this point. But, you know, you get back to Brady. I thought, Troy, his personality was perfectly suited for closing because of that grip it and rip it mentality. You know, the crowd starts to get fired up and you provide some ammunition. And then this game is so much different. I mean, he's kind of putting us all to sleep other than a few free base runners because you just try to methodically get deeper into the game. You don't have the big emotional displays because you're trying to pace yourself.
Yeah, I think so. But just with that, he can throw the fastball 95 miles an hour and with that big breaking ball. But you see him as a starter, he'll sit about 91, maybe 92. But you can definitely see that he's backed off that pitch, at least a fastball anyway. But yeah, he was exciting out of the bullpen, no doubt about it. I could see him be a reliever in the next level.
2-1 is lifted in the air down the line. The Winds will try and keep this near the chalk, and it'll land just foul as Jones pursued. DVH and Matt Hobbs in the offseason, talking about Brady Tiger, said they thought he reminds them a little bit of Zach Gallen, who can throw 4 pitches for strikes, and he really became an outstanding pitcher for the National League champion Arizona Diamondbacks. You got to be able to throw more pitches, and you've got to be able to pitch. And sometimes that might mean pitching a guy differently now second time through the lineup than you did the first.
Yeah, I think so. And you got to be able to mix in a few more changeups instead of being a 2-pitch mix guy, but that's pretty good with that breaking ball right there.
That is strikeout number 4. So the next time the Cowboys strike out today, that'll give them 20 Ks this afternoon.
Just a really big breaking ball right there, and it just backs up, kind of goes away from Hext.
This is Chase Keaton. Takes a strike over the outside corner.
But Keaton really gets low in that crouch, doesn't he?
He does. That's a pop-up. Who wants it? I would prefer McLaughlin take it. So would Helfrich. And Ben made the catch.
Helfrich went out there a long ways, and I think McLaughlin was just going, hey freshman, get out of my way.
Remember when he had a pop-up earlier and he threw his mask and it nearly hit the guy? He took that mask with him the entire time. He did not discard it at all. He just took that for the ride.
Well, if you throw it over by the dugout. Just get it out of the harm's way.
Yeah, but then you got to pick all the mud out of it and everything else. This is Lejeune, bounced to second his only time in. Takes one a little bit in. Played at Louisiana, then LSU Eunice, part of a 2021 Division II National Championship. I think they play that needed rather than the Division I JUCO series that they play in Grand Junction. I'm just a wealth of junior college and D3 and D2 knowledge, Troy. Anything else you like during these slow innings, I'll regale you.
I knew about the Grand Junction, Colorado for the JUCOs, but you had me on D2 and D3.
Right. I'll try and bring you along slower next time.
I know.
1-2 pitch, a little bit low.
Fans aren't very happy, but Javaro January has had a really solid zone behind the plate.
I would say so, too.
He's been really good.
And we're not terribly complimentary over the top at times when it comes to zones, but I think he's been pretty good. Nice ball 3. Cowboys picked 5th preseason in the Southland Conference. It's been a really consistently good program over the last decade or so under Coach Hill. 3-1 loser in game 1. They'd love to find a way to win this nightcap, but they've seen a lot of those slow curveballs. That is 5 strikeouts through 3 scoreless innings for Brady. Bounce to third his only time in. Remember to change your clocks tonight, Troy. Do you still have the old-fashioned clock? Aren't we springing forward today?
I've got a clock in our bedroom that changes itself, but it does it a day early every year. So this morning,
you sprung forward a day early?
I was springing forward, yes.
Well, that would seem to throw one off its routine when the game's starting at noon.
I know. It's just like we had to double check our phones.
Was this a leap year thing, you think?
No, it does it every year.
All right, I'm glad we had time to get into this. This is fascinating, and that one rolled foul. You have a clock that
it just on its own on a Saturday, Friday night into Saturday morning, jumps forward. Or does exactly what it's supposed to do.
It's just a day early.
It's just a day early.
Good thing you didn't have to catch a flight or something.
I'm telling
you.
Yeah. I've been early, though.
You would have been early. If you're early, you're never late. That's strike 3 to Edmondson.
How about Zach Voss?
He struck out 3 in a row.
Yeah. He's really locking up these Razorback hitters. And again, that just shows you don't have to throw 95. If you can hit your spots and change speeds, you're going to have some success.
It begs a question I think I have to ask as Stovall bats. Arkansas, it feels like at times, has faced really good pitchers. And clearly they have not hit to the level I think a lot of people felt like they would or feel like they should. So as Stovall is going to pop one up into shallow right, who wants this one? Backpedaling is Lejeune. He'll make the catch. You give some of these opposing pitchers more credit because Arkansas struggled offensively, or the Hogs kind of getting themselves out in certain situations?
I think it's a little bit of both.
I think it could be.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to try to take anything away from who Arkansas has faced. And even last weekend against Murray State, pitchers were really solid. It looks like so far that McNeese has run out some really good arms, but it seems like Arkansas has kind of taken the pitches that they need to be swinging at and then chasing balls outside the zone.
There's nothing worse, right? We talked about getting caught between speeds when
Sure.
you're not geared up for the fastball and you're out in front of the breaking pitches. But the same thing when you're taking pitches you should hit and then you're swinging at pitches you shouldn't. That's always a formula or recipe for disaster.
You don't see a lot of guys that are good hitters on bad balls. Another great changeup right there.
Kendall's reaching for that shoulder, isn't he? That left shoulder. I might need to see that again after that swing. He's still there. It is right now.
Yep.
Remember, he went diving into second base on a stolen base, and you see the dirt that smothered his jersey, and he got up wincing, either kind of that shoulder, and kind of landed awkwardly and tumbled through the dive.
It's funny, like if you have an injury like that, if you made solid contact, you really don't feel it. It's that swing and miss is what causes the pain.
Base is empty, 2 outs. Shift on for Diggs. So he's going to shoot one out into left center field. This is a long run for Hext, and he's going to play it off the fence on a bounce. And Kendall Diggs has himself a double. This time he didn't have to go diving into second base. Stand-up 2-base hit.
Really great swing. This pitch is off the plate, down and away. Another changeup. Diggs just stays with it, kind of buckles that back knee. That's a really good job by McNeese at getting that ball in a hurry.
How about Hex playing that with a barehanded leap?
I know.
Although I had an RBI singled off the fence in the first that scored Diggs. Swings at the first pitch. Hits it a mile in the air that will take out some fans about 6 rows above the dugout. Thought that was headed for Hog Noxious. He did too. It's quite a chain Vahiva's got around his neck.
Yeah, he's got the bling going. That's the one he wishes he had back.
Thing's almost reflecting the sunshine.
It's got some thickness to it, too. It's just not.
You got to leave that top button unbuttoned so you
yeah.
can see it, too.
That's right.
Fouls that one back.
I think if you're Aloy, you've really got to try to lay off that breaking ball down and away. 2 strikes, you almost have to give up on the fastball. You've got to sit back on the breaking ball, and there's something off speed, the changeup as well.
That slider's been kind of a tight pitch. Was that it?
Yeah, that was a slider right there. I think.
But it doesn't have that huge break.
Right. But if you're Aloy, you've got to think right field in this situation. If you get beat with a fastball, you get beat with a fastball. But
1-0 Razorbacks. Aloy has knocked in the lone run, scoring Diggs. Can he do it again? 2-strike pitch, and that one almost hit his front shoulder, but he took a hack at it, came up empty. A strikeout for Voss. Arkansas strands Diggs at second base. 3 complete in our second game. So Mississippi State, I think, and Starkville. Cole Plowman facing Tiger to begin the 4th inning. Brady struck out 5 through 2 frames, put over 60 on the pitch count. He keeps spinning that one in there. That one missed a little bit down. Shadows have advanced out towards home plate and beyond, so might be okay for the next 20 minutes or so, but a little bit later on in the day, that might not be much fun.
Yeah, when it gets about halfway between the mound and home plate, that's when it gets really tricky for hitters.
As we spring forward, we can get away with a little bit of that. Plowman, not a good swing, tried to hold his bat back, but could not.
Back check swings on the fastball. I think he come back with it maybe a little up and in.
Paints one on the corner. Strikeout number 6 for Brady Tiger through 3 1/3 innings.
Really great pitch right there by Brady. I love the job by Ryder Helfrich. Watch him just stick this ball right there. That is a young freshman catcher, and he has received the baseball a lot better than I thought he would at this point in his career.
All right, make that 7 strikeouts. They're racking up so many, I'm off one. Duhan was hit by a pitch in the second and was part of a stretch of 3 straight free base runners. Hit batter, walk, hit batter. And then Brady got a strikeout of Trehan and struck out Westenberg swinging to extricate himself from that situation. And that's the first hit, a single by Duhan. He's going to think about trying to go to second base, but it was played back in by Edmondson. And the Cowboys on the board with a base hit.
Duhan, he's just one of those scrappy hitters. That's just a really good swing right there.
Easton Dowell, the shortstop, takes strike 1.
Duhan kind of has an unusual lead. He'll go up there and stand really straight up and down, and then when the pitcher is in their stretch, he kind of gets it down into a crouch, and he tries to make that pitcher flinch just a bit.
He's covered in dirt, isn't he, from head to toe?
Yeah.
Looks like he just got off a cowboy. He's been riding through the desert for about 2 weeks. Now there's that hop at first, and the pitch to Dowell is chop foul. Hawks got a run in the first. That's it here in game 2. Razorbacks had a 3-1 win in game 1. Now the question, Troy, about Tigert, we saw Hagen Smith come out after 64 pitches because he's going to have to pitch on 1 shorter day's rest next Friday against Missouri. Tigert will pitch next Saturday, you would think. I don't know how much more dispensation that gives him, but we're at that point where you're wondering if this could be it for the 4th inning as far as Brady.
I think it just depends on how quickly he gets through this inning. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't let Brady go 90 pitches right here. There's nobody in the bullpen really warming up, so that means you figure he's got maybe this one and 1 more.
Because there's 2 things that factor into that decision. One, Arkansas is not scoring enough runs, and that one's outside. And keep in mind, McIntyre went 2 innings. 5 hits and a run. Faraday a third of an inning, and then Gackle had to go 2 2/3 for a save. So you would think at least a couple of those guys would not be available.
That's exactly right. So you want Brady Tiger to go 4, maybe 5 innings right here at this start.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch to Dow. He just barely got a piece of that one to chop it back to the screen. We're out of baseball. Someone needs new baseballs for the umpire. He's begging, he's pleading, he's desperately wanting new baseballs.
He's like, surely you have something for me.
He's got 1 left, and I guess he turned
like,
to Tiger and said, yeah, you're going to have to work with what I got. I've got nothing. And the 1-2. Sprayed foul again. Now we really need new baseballs. Ladies, we need something. Here we go. We got a fresh supply. Here they come.
That's pretty good. She came out and held 3 in one hand.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Was it J.R. Richard that could hold 7 in one hand?
I think so. It was maybe him and Johnny Bench. I've seen them both do that.
J.R. was a Louisiana guy. Breaking balls poked towards left field. Jason Jones over. Will take it on a bounce. So Duhan will stop at second base. The first 2 hits for the Cowboys have come back-to-back with 1 out in the 4th inning.
Really good job of the freshman Dow to keep that bat in the strike zone for a long time. Got just enough of that breaking ball. Arkansas would love a double play ground ball and get Tigert out of this inning. Maybe they can get him back for another one.
That would help. Stroh was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. A little bit up and a little bit out. Trending towards 80 now on that pitch count. Cowboys would like to tie it up with a base hit. Go ahead with an extra base hit.
Like pulled the string right there with the changeup.
He sure did. That's the pitch I don't think he threw a ton of as a reliever.
And I think you have to as a starter, especially against those left-handers. Got something going away from that barrel. There it is again.
Left that one a little bit up, though.
You're going to get hurt if you throw that one. That's when you're glad that it was out of the strike zone high. Almost looked like Brady kind of slowed that arm action down on that one just a bit. Floated on him.
2 balls and a strike to Stroh. Serve softly foul out of play. It's going to land in the concourse.
Stroh in the season is hitting .077 with runners in scoring position. He'd love to sure change that right here.
Big bending curve, strikeout number 8 for Brady Tigert.
And as a hitter, that's so tough because it starts off about head high.
And out of the zone.
Yeah, out of the hand, you're like, okay, there's no way that's going to be a strike. It's a good job by Helfrich just to let that ball come in and catch it close to your chest. Makes it look a little lower in the zone.
Those folks have been the busiest people in the stands all day.
It's one way to stay warm, just keep putting K's up on the board.
23 times here this afternoon. As Gage Trahan chops one foul.
Got to make sure it's lined up.
Well, he's working on it. He's trying. We need a ruler or a level.
I need a level out there.
Do you have a level in your house?
We do.
Is that right?
I got a couple of them. I don't do anything with it, but it's there.
You just have one in case you need it?
Sure.
Ever. That's strike 2. He thinks this is probably the last inning for Tigert now, but he'd like to finish and leave a couple of more men on base. Does he waste a pitch?
Well, it looked like it was going to hit Trahan. I think if out of the hand, if it was a fastball, it would have, but the little bit of a break with the changeup just missed him.
2 on, 2 out, and 2 strikes on Trahan. That's not what Brady wanted to do, to get ahead, and he almost hit him prior to that, but now the bases are loaded for the top of the lineup.
I really just kind of overthrew that fastball. That is going to get somebody starting to warm up in the bullpen. That is Parker Coyle.
Westenberg has walked and struck out. right on the outside corner. What was that pitch? A little bit of a cutter? What was that?
I don't know what that was. 86. It wasn't a fastball unless he really took something off of it.
Cutter slider?
I think it was a cutter.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Maybe I'm missing something. I need to pay better attention, apparently. There's a curve that's outside, or just pay attention in general.
Well, there you go. It's going to have to have a conversation with Matt Hobbs. And Connor Westenberg, you got to remember, he is the Cowboys' best hitter. He has been a threat every time he steps up into the box. This is not an easy at-bat.
5 homers, 15 knocked in. He's the man you would think the Cowboys would want up in this spot.
Very patient right there.
My elbow hurts watching Brady throw these curveballs, but he's continued to kind of roll them in. These hitters have seen them a couple of times, however. Bases full of Cowboys here in the 4th inning. Ground ball, punched to the right side, and it hit the runner. It hit Trahan. So Westenberg is going to get a hit, but you'd have to play to carry him off the runner.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, but that is a hit for Westenberg. So the Cowboys have stranded 19 in 13 innings. Does that feel like a big number to you?
Man, it's a huge number.
Oh, goodness gracious. That'll lead you to
scratching your head or banging your head against the wall.
I was going to have a few adult beverages, but you can bang your head against the wall if you'd like. Here's McLaughlin. Line to left is only AB.
If you're Ben McLaughlin, you have to have a really small strike zone. Can't chase anything down and pound it in the ground.
You were saying?
I think that's where Arkansas hitters have almost kind of got themselves out. You're talking about where have the pitchers for the opponents been good? I think that's a pitch right there. Even though it's in the zone, you just have to take it.
Shot to left. Hext will move a couple of steps to his right and make the catch. So Ben was the beneficiary of some unique plays that went as hits. Then he torches one off his bat at triple digits, but he's out. Better to be lucky than good, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You just feel like somebody for Arkansas is going to get a hold of one. And again, they've got to see the ball up. This has been a great job by Zach Voss of just working the bottom part of the zone.
Well, you would think
really pulling the string.
That Peyton has seen this before. These guys, again, junior college teammates at Crowder. And Holt bounced to short quickly in the 2nd inning when he faced Voss. Probably played behind him a few times watching him pitch.
Hit against him in multiple scrimmages, I can guarantee you that.
Hard hit, base hit, up the middle. Past the mound, missed the bag, and into center. 5th hit for Arkansas.
There's the pitch, up in the zone. They finally got a pitch. That was about the first mistake that Zach Voss has had. It was right down the heart and split the plate in two. And
center cut.
Yep. That'll get you in trouble.
As a catcher, you never have to catch that pitch because it's
right.
going to be put in play or it's going to be fouled off. Souza singled earlier. Smokes one to first, right at Keaton, double play. It's been that type of game, hasn't it?
It really, just another day in the park.
Well, I was going to talk pitching injuries with you a little bit later on, but this has been a laugh a minute, so I was going to save that for later. But we might circle back as Cooper Hext leads off the 5th inning. 2, 3, and 4 due up. Cowboys have stranded 7. Arkansas has left 3. Lefty-lefty matchup to begin the 5th inning.
Parker Coyle, he's a tall drink of water. I think they list him at 6'3", $190. I think that's pretty generous.
It's a lot of pinstripes right there when you're 6'3" or taller.
One thing that Coyle does, he usually throws a lot of strikes.
Smoked into center for a base hit. Edmondson over to retrieve and plays it back in, and Hext will lead off the 5th inning with a single. So more base runners for the Cowboys. They've twice left the bases loaded today, but now they get a leadoff runner on. This is 107 off the bat.
Yeah, that's just a bullet right there. That's a nice job by Cooper Heck, staying down through that baseball. And again, the Cowboys, they're not going quietly. They're just putting pressure on with free base runners or base hits.
This is Chase Keaton. He's popped to first and struck out. If you're Keaton's parents and you have a sense of humor, do you consider naming your son Alex? Do you suppose there's anybody in our control room that has watched Family Ties?
No.
None?
None.
Even on one of those streaming services late at night?
I would have to say no.
I think you're probably right. What were the parents there? Elise, right? Yeah, Kogan, our producer, he has no clue.
He has no clue.
Zero. I need to start giving these kids homework. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Kind of bring them back into the yesteryear.
A little Michael J. Fox, that'd be good.
We'd watch a little bit of that. We might throw on some Cheers.
Some Seinfeld friends. They got to know
Hogan's
Seinfeld
Heroes.
friends. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go black and white. Maybe some Andy Griffith or something like that.
You're going way back now. 3-0, hard hit. Can the Hawks get two? Nice pick from Malloy. Flips to second, low throw, a bobble from Souza, and they don't get the double play. There have been a couple of opportunities today to get double plays, and the Hawks haven't executed it, but that ball was really hit hard, and it was a nice pick by Vahiva, at least to get that lead runner.
Yeah, it was a tough play, and went to his right. Ball scorched right there in the 6 hole. Not the best throw. Souza had to double clutch. That ball was down by his toes.
No, it's a good point. It wasn't necessarily Souza's problem with the bobble. He was just trying to make that catch. Peyton Lejeune in now. He's 0 for 2.
I tell you what, those double plays, it all gets back where's that, the guy turning the double play, where's that feed? Is it chest high? You're really going to turn it. If it's anything other than that, it's really tough.
It is kind of a precision ballet maneuver there at second base, up the middle.
It's so much timing.
Yeah, timing's the best
you
one.
you want your momentum kind of coming across the bag, and when that throw's not where you want it, it really breaks it down.
It's similar to a quarterback on a handoff. If that
Yep.
running back's not in that right spot, everything gets blown up. I feel like a soccer game is broken out here. 1-0, middle innings. Strikeouts keep breaking out too. Coyle gets his first.
Really good sweeping breaking ball by Parker Coyle. Had a couple balls hit really hard and pulled the string right there at the 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Cole Plowman pinch hitting game 1, started in game 2. Struck out both times here in our nightcap. Is this when the shadows become a little more difficult, standing in sunshine from Coyle and hitting in shadows?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit better when it's not halfway, but yeah, it's hard to, that ball just kind of disappears. It goes from light to darkness.
And then Coyle paints on the corner.
Now if you're Parker Coyle, you can expand that strike zone just a little bit more.
(0-2), and that one fouled back. That was a pretty good 0-2 pitch.
I think he really tried to tie up Plowman right there. It's a good job by Cole Plowman just to get some bat on ball. You're thinking a breaking ball away, and he comes with the fastball in.
Leadoff single. Cowboys threatening to leave their 8th runner. Off and rolling goes Keaton, and the pitch misses. So now a base hit would tie up the game.
Helfrich didn't even offer it that. I guess they just let
Big jump,
Keaton
slow pitch.
He had a really big jump. Sometimes it's better just to eat that baseball. It's probably a good decision by the freshman catcher.
Next pitch is waved at, missed. Another K, another runner left on base. Kind of beating the same drum, aren't we today?
They really are. That's some big losses, especially the top one, Florida, 4th in the nation. But you know what? That's just baseball. It just happens.
Jason Jones goes down to get a low pitch, banks it in the air, deep center field, back to the fence, goodbye! Jones with home run number 3. Westenberg just about got back to the 400-foot marker. I'm not sure how Jason Jones got that low pitch up and out. That's some strength, and it's 2-0 Hogs. I think I said earlier if someone was going to hit one out today, maybe it was going to be Jason, and he went down and 108 off his bat, hit one at the kneecaps, and shot one out of here to dead center with one hand.
That looks like he hit a 3-wood out to center field. Just golfed that one out. You can see it had just enough carry to get over that fence. Great effort right there by Westenberg.
I thought he was going to lose his hat.
Or glove or something.
2-0 Hogs. And Ryder Helfrich, who struck out his only time in batting here. Going to try and bunt and almost got that one off his knuckles.
I think he did.
And then the catcher, Stroh, took one as well. And that didn't feel good for either one. Speaking of the SEC scores, though, A&M is up big against Rhode Island, and they're one of the 2 remaining undefeated teams in college baseball?
Yeah, I think the Aggies and the Seminoles from Florida State. Yeah, don't you know Helfrich's hand is just stinging right now.
Yeah. Stop bunting. He takes strike 3. And Voss has pitched pretty well, Troy. Gave up that run in the first. And the home run from Jones this inning. But A&M, they're going to be a problem this year, in addition to the normal teams like Florida and LSU and whatnot. Look at that earned run average.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. They have some great pitchers. Talked about some of their offense.
Edmondson, a soft little flare that'll find its way into right for a base hit. His first hit in 3 at-bats. Retrieved by Duhan and played back in. Peyton Stovall. So for 1 for 2, he singled and then popped up to the second baseman, Lejeune. Be curious to ask Peyton tomorrow how many bats it's going to take just to kind of feel remotely comfortable before you start to settle in. And I don't know what that number would be. For me, it might be 15.
Yeah, I was going to say a dozen to 15. And the steady diet of changeups that he's seen.
We might have to get a shot of that right foot because he was wearing a pad the other day where he broke that bone and then, of course, had to wear a shin guard on top of it. So I think he's got 2. Stop moving around, Peyton. First you see the black pad and then you see the shin guard because the shin guard doesn't cover where he was. He's dancing for us now. Would you stop, young man? There you go. Black pad and shin guard. So he is really wrapped up.
Well, I think that they even told me that the piece of steel in my shoe –
Okay.
that's like running with you see those steel-toed shoes that, like construction workers have.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or umpires wear. They've got those steel-toed
do.
shoes. Want to have that foul ball breaking a toe.
3-0 to Stovall. And that's ball 4. So, after the strikeout to Helfrich, a single and a walk, and Arkansas in business. Troy, there has not been a multi-run inning today, and we've been playing baseball for the better part of 5 hours.
Yeah, it's been a crazy game. We've had batted ball hit a base runner, had some pop-ups fall, a whole bunch of strikeouts, and a whole bunch of stranded runners.
Yes. Small villages worth of people left on the bases.
Yeah, if you're Kendall Diggs, you got to be very aggressive in this first pitch right here.
And that is a called strike. I thought that was a tad in, so did Kendall. But, this guy has tremendous command of the zone, and you feel like that kind of switches your AB immediately.
I think so. I think he had a good argument. That ball looked like it was in.
1 out in the inning. What Arkansas has done with too much regularity is hit into double plays, and that will take you away from multi-run innings. What they haven't done, maybe with the exception of that 7-run inning the other day against UCA where they had a couple of home runs, is get that big swing with runners on that clears a fence.
Well, they just haven't driven the ball to the outfield.
And there's a chopper foul wide of first. And disappear in the tarp.
There's another pitch down out of the zone that has enticed a Razorback hitter to take a hack at. I mean, it's easy to hit up here in the booth, but that is what the Cowboys have done. They've just been pounding the bottom part of that strike zone.
Diggs waves and misses. That's the second out of the inning, both by strikeouts for Vahiva Aloy.
And that's what Voss does. He throws changeup, then he comes back with a fastball at 89 with some good run.
He was way late on that.
Yeah, he was way late. He was thinking changeup.
That's what we mentioned earlier, just being between speeds. Aloy's knocked in a run with a single. Tremendous rip and a miss at a pitch that was off the corner. Vahiva has driven in 2 of the 5 Razorback runs in the doubleheader. Voss tried to come front door. Missed a little bit low. Next pitch will be number 75 for the starter, Zach Voss.
Still nobody up in the bullpen for the Cowboys.
Aloy watches that one miss up and out. That's the pitch. If he can lay off that one, or the pitch that's off that outside corner and work center in, he's going to get to a lot of balls.
It's the breaking ball away that has really enticed Aloy so far this season. Now he's in a hitter's count.
3-1.
I mean, you better be careful right here to Vahiva Aloy. I'd almost like try to nibble in the outside corner and get him to fish, because if it's middle in, it could get lost.
A 3-1 pitch. Lifted high in the air. Deep left center field. Aloha means goodbye. That one cleared the hog pen. An absolute no-doubt shot. 468 feet of Vahiva Aloy. He can't hide the smile. That cleared the fans with those flags to the left of the batter's eye. An absolute no-doubter.
And you can see the tremendous power that Vahiva Aloy has. And it wasn't a matter of if, but when. He admired that one just a little bit.
This is where Jack Wagner used to hit him. Watch this one clear the fans to the left of the batter's eye.
That ball was absolutely destroyed.
Goodness gracious, that thing might have ended up in that pond or bayou back there.
I think that's turtle food now, isn't it?
You're not going to find that one unless you have some mud boots on and go crawl back into the swamp. So Arkansas does get the 3-run homer and a pair of homers this inning for a little bit of separation, and that's a happy Vahiva Aloy. It's 5-0. McLaughlin hits that a mile in the air, but it will be caught, not without a little bit of concern. And it'll do that when it travels 468 feet. Wasn't a lot of a launch angle. That thing came off his bat. It's a wonder somebody's still alive that didn't try and get in front of that one.
It's just like it cleared everyone out there because it was hit like a rocket. We talked about the power that he has, and there is no doubt.
Arkansas had not had a multi-run inning all game. And then they got 4 in the 5th. And this is Duhan. He has one of the 4 hits for the Cowboys. Singled back in the 4th. They ended up leaving the bases loaded. They've done that twice in game 2. And 3 times today.
Yeah, it's just, they just can't find that big hit in that clutch situation.
And that's going to happen against Arkansas's pitchers from time to time. What you're hoping for is what took place a couple of innings ago, where it looks like you've got a sure base hit, and then your runner gets hit by the ball on his foot, and it takes 2 runs off the board.
By how much, if that ball got through, the complexion of this ball game
changes everything.
Yeah.
At least for a period of time.
How about Duhan hitting 396? Hitting 300 as a leadoff hitter in an inning.
Been on base both times here in our second game. The 2-2 from Coyle. Fouled back.
You just feel like he might start climbing up the ladder in that order.
It's fouled back and out of play. You feel for McNeese. I mentioned, Troy, that, at one point they had 4 shortstops, and now they're kind of down to 1 from a health situation. Hebert, who might be a guy right in the middle of their lineup, at a hamate issue, and he's still probably a couple of weeks from coming back. Hollings was hit by a pitch in the 4th game of the year. Jordan Thompson another. So, they're not at full strength, and I think every coach wants to inch a little bit closer to that point. They've got another week before they even jump into conference play, and I don't know if that'll help get a few guys healthy, but I know that's their hope.
Yeah, they've got a couple pitchers out as well, too, so they've definitely been bit by the injury bug.
Poke to the left, and Jones will not get there. So once again, a base runner for the Cowboys, and once again, Duhan is the man to do so.
How about hit by pitch, single. Nice game so far. Braden Duhan. He just goes up there and hits. That's all he does.
Easton Dowell has been on base twice himself with a walk and a single. For Coyle, this is his 2nd inning of work in relief of Tigert, who went 4 scoreless. Softly fouled back towards the sweets.
Coyle is one of those pitch to contact type guys, so he wants to keep that ball down, create some ground balls, let his defense work behind him. Arkansas playing Vihiva Loy kind of normal shortstop position, and Souza almost kind of behind second base. See that? That's how they're going to try to pinch and roll that double play.
Long pause before a 2-1 pitch. Fouled back and out of play again.
This is a time of day that left field sun is really tough on line drives.
Did you pick it up at all coming off the bat?
If off the bat you can get it, it's just when it gets about the height of the stadium is when it almost just disappears. So it's really bright out there in left field.
Just poked in a right, a base hit by Dow. Duhan will hold at second base. Back-to-back singles against Coyle to begin the McNeese 6th inning.
Not the hardest hit balls, but found some green grass, and Cowboys are not going away. Nice at bat by the freshman Dow.
Arkansas has really been playing Souza up the middle, Troy, and it feels like ball after ball is kind of going towards right in that vacated hole.
Well, I almost think he had to. I think they thought that with the velocity of Parker Coyle, that ball might be pulled. But with 2 strikes, Dow just shot that one where that pitch was thrown.
Parker Stroh fouls one back and out of play.
Still no outs for the Hogs.
And that would seem to be the issue. They have not begun their accumulation of 3 outs to end this 6th inning, just after they got a little separation in the bottom of the 5th. Another base hit off the bat of Stroh. This one's down. It's going to chase home a run. Duhan will score. Holding at second is Dow. It's a 5-1 game. 3 straight hits by the Cowboys here in the 6th inning, and this is what they've done all day, try and get runners on. The difference is here, now they've cashed it in.
Just 3 really good swings in a row. Parker Stroh, that ball is a breaking ball down. He doesn't pull off that pitch. He keeps that front shoulder closed and delivers the RBI, scoring Duhan. And Arkansas's got some activity in the bullpen. It looks like Cody Frank, the right-hander, warming up.
I thought we were probably due to see him at some point. He's up and working. And if the 9-hole hitter Trahan gets on, then you turn this lineup over for Westenberg and Hext with an opportunity for a bigger inning for the Cowboys as Cody continues to work. Big swing and a foul tip into the glove of Helfrich. Three straight hits by the Cowboys in their 6th inning. How about that pitch? Front door breaking ball, strike 3 call. That's almost unfair.
I just don't think that Trahan thought that was going to be a pitch in the zone, and starts out at his elbow and
started behind him.
He almost stuck that elbow out trying to get a piece of it, but that is called a big sweeping breaking ball, and that's going to do it.
It was just about a year ago when Frank tore that lat. It was on March 5th of last year against Wright State. Westenberg in. 1 for 2 with a walk. In the air to right towards Diggs. Tell you what, this 1 pitch, 1 out thing worked out nicely for Frank. 2 gone in the inning.
A little surprised Duhan didn't tag right there. I know that they need 4 runs, but if you get him to third base, then a wild pitch scores a run. Because you know that was just a can of corn out there to right field.
Yeah.
But there's no way Diggs is going to throw him out of third base.
Always don't want to make that last out at third, though. I know that might be part of it. This is Hext, who singled in 3 at bats. There's a bunt with 2 outs. Thank you very much. Inning ends. Say the Hogs. 3 straight hits produced a run, but Cody Frank gets, 2 outs on 2 pitches. Hogs up 5-1. Peyton Holt leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. He would single back in the 4th. 1 for 2 here in the 2nd game.
You know, really overall, thinking about Zach Voss and his outing, he just made a couple mistakes, and that's it. I mean, he was really efficient, kept the ball down the zone, threw the changeup exceptionally well.
I thought Lejeune pitched well at their Game 1 starter.
Yeah, he really did.
He suffered the loss. Voss on the hook for 1 here in Game 2. Three and 0 the count. Well, that's not what you want to do coming out of the pen. Issue a walk on 4 pitches. Provide the Razorbacks a free base runner.
In the second part of the Hawaiian duo, Nolan Souza coming up to the plate. I just think this kid's going to hit and hit and hit.
I do too, and that's why I kind of posed that question to you earlier. What happens now when Peyton, Stovall's going to want to play second base. DH gets him going, gets him at bats, get him moving. At some point, he's going to want to be out there because, again, it's his draft year, and this is where you want to show that you're ready to roll come July.
When you talk about Stovall, he's a guy that turned down a lot of money, or he took himself out of the draft. He would have gotten a lot of money out of high school.
What we've seen Souza do that I'm intrigued by is hit really hard low liners, 2 irons to left field. And sometimes it feels like that's the last thing to come, making hard contact to the opposite field. What I'm curious about is if he's going to turn on some balls that are in and start hitting them towards that bullpen and right. Sometimes that's the first thing that comes. Maybe for him it's the last. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation, but you'd rather have a guy staying with the ball and through it, hitting the opposite field, but you're right. There's going to be a time he's going to golf one out to left field and hit one on top of the building.
6 in a row missed. There's a strike to Souza, well placed.
Still a pitcher's pitch. That's a good 2-0 take. After Souza, you try to hunt middle in right here.
Low and in. So a leadoff walk. Now it's 3-1 to Nolan Souza. Hit hard into left again. Base hit. Holt will turn second. He's going to try to motor to third. Throws cut off. There's Razorbacks on the corners, and all this kid does is hit line drives to left field. 2 for 3 today.
That's just a great stroke. And to me, it shows that he stays on that baseball. He's not over swinging.
Lets it get deep.
Yep. He's not afraid. And as a hitter, that's a hard thing to do, is let that ball travel, because you have to trust your hands. And you have to be okay to get jammed every now and then.
So often we think about getting out in front of that baseball. We're a little bit afraid to let it get deep because then we're going to get tied up.
Sure.
We're not going to barrel it up. He does. Jones homered over the center field fence this last time in, and Troy, I think he did it pretty much one-handed.
Yeah, I think he just kind of flicked that one 410 feet.
"13 runs batted in for Jason Jones. Can he elevate here? He's trying to do more. Another nice job by a Cowboy catcher. It saves the run, but it does allow Souza to advance on what'll have to be a wild pitch. Now it takes away the double play. Now a base hit should chase home 2 more.
Yeah, you're right. Stroh was the catcher right there. They've been outstanding blocking those balls in the dirt.
Does our pitcher have an earpiece in? I didn't see any signs, and I didn't see any check of the watch. As Jones goes down on strikes.
Oh, there's
the watch. All right. He's got that thing wrapped to his
Looks
wrist.
like a giant wristband.
I didn't see Stroh check anything. I saw him almost like maybe he was listening. Maybe it was being relayed into him through the walkie-talkie. I don't know.
There's some action in their Arkansas dugout. Do we gonna have a pinch hitter right here? Is it Lovich? I think Lovich is going to hit for Ryder Helfrich.
You know, Ross is a guy who certainly made the most of his opportunities.
Had to get a watch on the wristband. They don't have enough. Everybody doesn't have their own.
I was watching a team the other day. Every time a reliever came out of the bullpen, you had to take the watch off and give it to the next guy. So you didn't pass the baseball. That wasn't as important as the watch. Here's Lovich.
So it looks like that the Cowboys are going to play all the way back. The corners are halfway, but up the middle, they're going to concede the run right here.
Lovich kind of guiding that swing through the zone. He'd like to have that one back. Ross hitting .474 with 4 knocked in off his hands. Fouls one into the Razorback dugout. Did that take out one of his teammates? Everybody okay? Don't hit anybody really important, or anybody for that matter, but really don't hit the important ones.
Get that ball put away. It's a little dangerous. Good job by Mott to get a hold ahead of Lovich right here.
He'd really love a K. That cross up Stroh.
It's a really good pitch. Top of the zone.
Stroh looked like he was starting to jump out after that thing. Big pitch for the Cowboys. Backdoor breaking ball did not miss by a lot, but it's outside. Good take.
I think if you're Mott, the pitcher, you still try to go down in the zone and get Lovich to chase. You really need a strikeout in this situation.
Couple of runners in scoring position. The 2-2 to Lovich. Lifted to right, but shallow. Duhan comes in. He'll make the catch. Holt's going to tag. He's going to score. Sac fly makes it a 6-1 Razorback lead. Lovich will take that.
Off the bat, you just looked like it was going to be a pop-up, and it carried a lot farther than I thought it was going to. That's when you're a hitter you got to love with a runner on third and you hit a little lazy fly ball and you get the sac fly. There's one of those free base runners. Peyton Holt got on first with a walk and it came around to chalk up a run for the Hogs.
Back to the top of the lineup for Edmondson. Snaps in for strike one. Hogs up to 6 runs. Little fister softly hit towards Lejeune, and he will throw out Edmondson to end the inning. Arkansas cashes in that leadoff walk for another run. It's a 6-1. There's Hudson White. Frank bounced that first one in there to Keaton. 3, 4, and 5 due up this inning.
Cowboys looking to string some more hits together. An inning ago, they had back-to-back-to-back base hits.
Sure did, and then Frank came into the game, Troy. He got a fly out to right and a bunt for an out, and it was 2 pitches, 2 outs, and he extinguished that quickly.
That's that breaking ball right there that really locks up that right-handed batter.
How about that hat right now?
I tell you, he needs to invest in a new hat. That's got a little bit of a salty sweat stain on it.
Feels like he's been in Arizona for about a month wearing that hat. I mean, that thing's got to go back to last year, doesn't it?
It has to be. That's got superstition written all over that.
That's what your car looks like once you drive on the roads when they just slop the salt down and they don't bother to plow it.
That's when you got to wash it quickly so it doesn't start eating your paint. Or metal, for that fact.
Lifted to center. Edmondson gliding back. Still going. Make the catch for the first out in the 7th inning.
Ball had some carry on it.
More than I expected. Lejeune is 0 for 3 with a couple of Ks.
And that's the pitch you don't see Frank throw very often, but he'll break it out for that left-handed batter. I think in this day and time, it was a changeup that he pulled the string on that one right there. Doesn't throw it very often. You can see he got to hit off the cap of the bat. There's another one right there. Nope, that was a fastball. That thing had some, what about 20 inches? He really turned that thing over.
Yeah, it moved a lot.
It started moving the second it came out of his hand.
Here's a 1-1. Threw the breaking ball there and had it fouled at the plate.
That's no fun if you're Lejeune. Hit off your own foot. It looks like it's 20 below. Look at every fan up there behind the hitter. They got the big hat on, hood.
Bundled up.
You just got to keep migrating to find some sun.
Right back to the mound. Frank with an underhand flip to McLaughlin. 2 out, so he's retired all 4 that he's faced.
I think that's what you know what you're going to get when you bring Cody Frank in the game. He's going to get some strikeouts, but not a tremendous amount. Pitches to contact, and you know he's going to just fill up that strike zone.
Cole Plowman has struck out all 3 times in. He'd like to change that.
Another one of those change-ups.
Are you ever ready for a first pitch changeup?
No. I don't think you ever sit on one. Another one.
Does speed you up when you throw 88 then after the changeup?
Yeah, it looks like 98. And the thing is, they're down in the zone. That's where he wants to throw that pitch. Now you kind of nibble that backdoor breaking ball.
Another change?
Yeah, same thing.
I've seen more changeups today in these 2 games than I've seen in a
lot of time. They are throwing a bunch.
And a payoff. A changeup and a wave and a miss. Hey, this Frank guy's got it figured out. The inning of work. Peyton Stovall will lead off.
Not sure if Stovall's seen anything straight today. It's been off speed after off speed.
You were saying.
That'll teach you some patience right out of the chute. You're not going to be jumpy when you see a bunch of changeups.
1 for 2, a single, a walk, a run scored. In the old days, the grumpy guys would start screaming back of the mound. Be a man, throw me a fastball.
Yeah.
He's seen all kinds of off-speed pitches, breaking balls today. Stovall could not hold back, and he strikes out to begin the bottom of the 7th.
That's a good job by Mott. Really threw that back foot breaking ball right there. And I tell you what, if you can spot your pitches, you're going to have some success.
Kendall Diggs has doubled in 3 at-bats, also scored a run. Arkansas hit a pair of homers today. They came in the same inning. Jason Jones over the center field fence. Fahiva Loy over everything for a 3-run homer. "13 home runs for the Razorbacks in this, the 14th game.
Yeah, it's been a slow start for the Hogs, but you feel like that power is going to come. I think the guy at the plate's going to start getting his.
I believe that.
Good pitcher's pitch right there by Mott. He's not going to give in. Down and away. If you're Kendall, you almost kind of think that if I'm going to get one, I'm going to have to shoot it out to left field this weekend.
Bottom of the zone, called a strike, 2-2.
Kendall asked, and Javaro January said, yep, that's the bottom part of the zone.
Would he ask him if that was a strike, or would he say, is that as low as you're going to go?
I think that's what the question is that the bottom?
Shift employed against Diggs on the 3-2. The chopper is fouled wide at first. Somebody got a baseball. One out, bottom of the 7th. And that is a wave and a miss. Back-to-back Ks here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Really good job by Mott. Really mixed up the pitches. Got him with the fastball, elevated up and away. And that just shows, like, if he misses over the middle of the plate, that thing's probably sitting on top of the building. But it's great location, again, with 2 strikes by Mott.
Although he's knocked in 4 runs, he's up to 13 runs batted in, and that one grazed him on the elbow. 2-out base runner. You almost feel like when you've had an RBI single off the wall and a 3-run homer over everything, you want to stay in there and swing again.
Yeah, that's why you wear the elbow guard right there.
McLaughlin will bat, 0 for 3. Now Ben came into the doubleheader today. He had reached base in every game. And when he had 2 doubles in the first game, he has reached base in all 13. He has not done so here in the nightcap.
And that's the one that Ben wants back.
Yes. I want to swing at that one, and I'm up here. Arkansas had a 4-run 5th inning. Really the big difference in this game. It was 1-0 going into that bottom of the 5th. After a 3-1 Razorback win in game 1.
You got to remember in that 4th inning, that's when the Cowboys had bases loaded, 2 outs, and the ground ball that looked like it was going to get through the right side ends up hitting Gage Trahan to end that inning. That was definitely lucky by the Hogs.
Is that a swing? I don't think so. And then Aloy, during all the appeal process, just took off to second base. Everybody in the ballpark was looking to our third base umpire, and Aloy just took off. One and 2. Kind of bounces around. Bit of a pinball effort.
You could see the home plate umpire, Javaro January, was saying, hey, nothing happened. It didn't, it kind of ricocheted off of McLaughlin, but the batter was staying put in the box. It just hit off the catcher, then off the batter. Just saying that ball wasn't kicked on purpose.
And a 2-2. Well, the count has gone full to McLaughlin here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I think if Ben's hit the ball hard to left field, you think you have to have that same approach right here. You can see it up in the zone. Don't chase anything low. Easier said than done.
Payoff pitch is cut on a miss. Good pitch. 3 strikeout in the inning. And Aloy left at second base. Pretty nice job by Mott.
Yeah, definitely one of those games that in days you just want to flush and just recalibrate.
Now Duhan has had a couple of singles. He's been hit by a pitch. He scored the run. And he drove in their run in game 1. So he's been involved in everything. I would say the Tennessee Volunteers, though, have had a day dissimilar to what we've seen here at Baum Walker. I'll tell you about it after this pitch. They defeated Illinois today, Troy, 24-1 to run their winning streak to 14 games. The Vols have scored, or did score, 2 or more runs in 7 of the 8 innings.
That is a lot of offense.
My goodness.
But Frank is just going changeup after changeup to those left-handed batters.
If we were playing a drinking game where
you'd be in trouble
with
right
changeups, I mean, you better call every Uber in Northwest Arkansas to get us all home.
It's a breaking ball that had some hang time. It's 76.
Frank has retired all 5 that he has faced. And that one just about took out a couple of his teammates.
You got dueling mustaches going right here.
That's right. We got Frank against Duhan. Put your money down here. Do you like that one of Duhan? Or do you like that one of Cody Frank? And that is a foul ball. So we can ponder this a little bit longer. We got the close-up of Duhan, but now we need the close-up to Frank for those voting in our instant poll.
Frank doesn't have the wings or the curl.
Or the wax?
The wax, yeah.
Now these mustaches might converge right here, but Frank didn't get in the way of Duhan and retires him for the first time. There we go. How long would it take him to get the Duhan? He's got a little bend at the end.
It's coming up.
Duhan's got the girth, the wideness.
Yeah.
There we go. I think Duhan wins, but Frank just retired him, so maybe that gives him a little
edge.
One-upsmanship. Dallas also been on base all 3 times, couple of singles and a walk.
That is one big leg kick by Dow. It looks like he's going to start a motorcycle with that front leg. Watch this.
Sadahara O.
Yeah, that's a big leg kick. It's all about the timing.
But he picks it straight up.
Yeah.
Hard hit to Aloy, gliding to his left on 2 bounces. 2 outs. 8th inning.
Again, Cody Frank just coming in, throwing strikes. That's what he does. As a defense, you got to love a pitcher that works quickly. Keeps you on your toes. If you know he's going to be in the zone, just makes every at-bat feel crisp.
Stroh knocked in the run back in the 6th. Oh, goodness. We have seen, I don't know, between the 2 teams, maybe a dozen swings like that today?
Yeah, more than normal. We'll say that. It was definitely the over on the over-under.
Yes.
On getting fooled mightily, I guess is a way to say it.
Fooled so bad that you can't check and that you just
have to roll right through that swing. It's just not pretty as a hitter.
Drilled to left.
Ball's
Back
hit
goes
well.
Jones. He's got room. Calm down, Troy. Inning's over.
Thought it had some carry.
Frank, a couple of perfect innings. Looks out in the hallway.
Still a 5-run game. Arkansas would love to add to that lead.
Peyton Oldham singled and walked and scored a run. On Sunday I did 11 and a half hours of live TV with 3 games. So we are at that, 6-hour mark today? That's 17 and a half over 2 days. That seem like a lot to you or enough?
It seems like a lot.
Does seem like a lot, the more I think about it. If you need more after this, I think softball's underway, and they're playing 2 games tonight. Should be well underway in game 1 with another one coming up.
That'd be a little chilly.
Could be. Softball team's a little bit like this baseball team. There's a liner to right by Holt. Shoots one towards Duhan for a leadoff single, and by that, softball will start at 6'10". You know, you expected a lot out of this offense. You know it's there. When you see a glimpse, you wonder if that's the game or the moment that'll trigger things going forward, but you're still kind of waiting. And we'll see when that explosion might take place.
Again, Brett, you talked about the impressiveness of Nolan Souza and his ability to hit the ball the opposite way as a freshman. That is not easy to do.
Well, Souza's trying to get a 3-hit game. 7 for 19. The one time he was retired, Troy, he hit a bullet right to the first baseman that was caught. And then Keaton stepped on the bag. If he's not holding a runner, that's down the line and right.
Yeah, if he keeps swinging the bat the way he is, he's going to find his name on the lineup card more times than not.
That's one he'd like to have back 2-0.
That one almost hit his back foot.
Feels like you kind of make up your mind that you're going to swing a 2-0 pitch before you actually see it. Up and in.
That's when you got to slow that heartbeat down just a bit.
Hawks have 10 hits. Now, Holt had a lead of about 4 feet.
If that.
I wasn't the only one that noticed then.
Well, he went back and he didn't even have to get his uniform dirty. He was so close. He just reached down and touched the ground with his hand. That's a way bigger lead right there.
Yeah, much bigger. Chopper up the middle. Flagged nicely, but the flip comes out of the glove of Dowd and rolls away, so Souza should get another base hit. And that would be his 3rd of the game. I thought for a second maybe a chance for a double play, but
I think Dowd tried to flip that with the glove.
I do too. Problem was Lejeune wasn't at the base. Traffic jam there.
Yeah.
If he's at the base, he might have been able to extend and catch that.
I think that was a great flip behind the back. You're right. In nothing against Lejeune, he just wasn't in position to get there that quickly.
Well, Jason Jones homered in the 5th. Struck out in his other 2 at-bats. So it's a little bit of feast or famine. There's a chopper again. Maybe this will be 2. There's 1. On to first. Not picked. The ball hits the dugout railing, and Arkansas will score its 7th run. So no DP, and when the throw got by Keaton, Holt just came around and scored again.
Yeah, off the bat, you thought that might have been 2. And again, that ball was chopped up the middle. Down makes a good flip. I think that Lejeune just rushed that one just a little bit too much.
Well, he had to take the throw with his back to first, and then you turn and you throw hardly in that direction of first base, and you don't quite get the true bounce. But regardless, it's a 7-1 game.
Parker Rowland with his first at-bat of the ball game.
Lovich pinch hit for Helfrich, got a sacrifice fly in the 6th. Then Rowland came on the catch. And now getting his first at-bat in what has been a long time.
Parker swung the bat really well in the fall.
February 25th, the last time he was at the plate, Troy.
That has been a while.
That's been a while. Against Michigan. 7 runs on 11 hits for the Razorbacks. 1 run, 7 hits for the Cowboys in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Shadows no longer a problem. Now we're bending towards nighttime. Tomorrow we won't have to worry about this with the clocks. Your clocks are already ahead.
Yeah, I know. At least one of them is. Got to sleep fast, fans. It's going to be a short night.
Three-one to Roldan is on the inside corner. Long pause before the pitch. Smoked to right by Parker Rowland. It'll drop for a base hit. Jones advances to second. You root for these guys who are getting their opportunity after they've been sitting for a little while. And, you know, when you hit that ball that hard for Rowland, you're just thinking, boy, someone's going to catch it off his shoe tops.
Yeah, you're right. And really great fan response right there, knowing that you got a veteran player in Parker Rowland. He squares one up, and you just hope that had enough top spin on it to get that ball down the ground. It's a good job by Duhan just trying to keep it in front, keep that ball from rolling to the fence.
Played that one off his wrist, I believe. It might not help my velocity or my breaking pitches.
A coat and gloves.
That's right.
Get some extra grip in those gloves. Like a quarterback does.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, they do it. Edmondson watches that snap on the outside corner for a called strike.
Mott would love the double play to get out of this inning. Limit that damage to just one.
Wave to miss. Big rip. Got a foul tip?
Yeah, I think so. Foul tip. Looked like a breaking ball right there by Mott. Boy, Edmondson really wraps that barrel around and almost like points it at the pitcher. And when you do, that bat's got to really travel a long way. Watch him really coil up, and that bat's almost pointing toward the outfield.
Is that Julio Franco did that?
A little bit. He did a little more flair, though. Franco, he was, yeah, the barrel pointed right at the pitcher, but that's pointing out there about left center field.
You got to bring that back quickly.
It's got a long ways to travel to get in that hitting zone.
2-2.
When you have high velocity, that's what makes that much harder to get that barrel into the zone.
And Mott has been nibbling just a bit. It's a lonely place today. Feel like you're at the rooftops at Sheffield Avenue and Wrigley.
He's holding down the fort up there.
Yes, he is. Tell you what, if a foul ball goes up there, he's not going to have to race anybody for him. That's strike 3. Good pitch for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Mott just kept nibbling away, and then went with the front door breaking ball and just locked up Will Edmondson.
You would have told me before this day started that Peyton Stovall was going to get 9 plate appearances. I don't think I would have taken that bet either. We were thinking maybe next Tuesday.
Yeah, I was thinking Oral Roberts myself, exactly.
Hit a mile to right field. Bending foul, and our friend up there can't even get that one because it's above him on the roof. They're going to say that's a 3-run homer. The Cowboys can't believe it. Stovall hit one up and out onto the building. Somehow he kept that one fair and hit it 412 feet.
I'm a little surprised that the Cowboys aren't going to question that one.
What did you think?
I thought it was foul, but I also watched where it landed on the building. But think they're going to review this one.
You know, he hit this one so high and so far.
McNeese State.
It's not an easy view. And the one thing we found out.
The ruling on the field of a home run. This play is under further review.
It's under review. These are the toughest places to review and the toughest videos because these aren't big league ballparks. There really aren't cameras set up to be right down that line.
Yeah, that's the hard part. What's the angle going to look like? And like you said, Brett, the ball was so high above the pole. I mean, it cleared the pole by 25 or 30 feet.
Easily.
I mean, that was a moonshot. What was the angle? 30-degree launch angle. Watch this. Stovall just gets all of it. And he is watching to see if it's going to be fair or foul as well.
Mott's voicing his concern.
Do you see Diggs on? See, look at Diggs. Again, you can't. It lands about 20 feet right of the foul ball. Wernes is really taking a look. See at the bottom left hand of your screen. Same with the umpire.
Keaton was calling that foul the entire time. He was standing there as well from his first base position. But, I mean, you got a better chance to see the.
I just don't think you can overturn that with the angles we have.
And, you know, just as they went to this review, I thought there's not a camera that's going to be able to spot this. This is probably going to stand.
After review, the ruling on the field of home run stands. McNeese State is charged its first challenge.
Well, Peyton Stovall gets himself a bomb, Troy. Maybe not the most dramatic one, but he hit it far enough.
Yeah, he hit it a mile. There's no doubt about that.
We'll work to Kendall Diggs. Well, I would think then a home run here, and that would end this game.
I think that's what Diggs is thinking himself.
We played so long today, these bats could start off cold and finish hot.
Yeah, that is a good sign for Arkansas. Just starting to swing the bats a little bit better. Starting to see a little bit of power.
Well, Diggs, he'd like to know how many fastballs he's seen today.
Between him and Stovall, maybe 3?
Not many. Fouled that one right back from Navarre. Must got something in his eye. Probably all that filth on his jersey that's kind of floating around in the air. Pinstripes are going to need some work this evening during the laundry cycles.
Yeah, that may be washed about 5 or 6 times.
That ball is smoked. High and deep to center field. Where will this one land? High off the batter's eye. Kendall Diggs with the moonshot. And the Razorbacks are going to run rule the Cowboys. The 3-run homer from Stovall and a 450-foot game winner from Kendall Diggs. Up, out.